Testing 1, 2, 3, testing. Okay, for the third time. I'm trying to get this right. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Peter Morey here from Fairland, Newfoundland. I'm a 77-year-old retired physician, and I'm looking at Canada, the country that I love, and I'm seeing it disappear, being destroyed by crazy politicians and uneducated voters who don't care, who want someone else to save them. Everybody wants someone else to save them. Everybody wants a free ride. They want to be given things, but they don't have to work for it. Our new culture tolerates corruption and basically welcomes it because the corruption is so deep that most of the population benefit from it in one way or another, to the detriment of the whole country and eventually to the destruction of the whole country. We've got a situation now where we have distrust in our judiciary, distrust in our leaders, distrust in our politicians, distrust in our church. We've got no plan to get out of this situation, and everybody just wants it to go away. But they don't want to make it go away. They want someone else to make it go away. And that's the problem. Canada's about to disintegrate. Alberta is about to leave. And they will. They have put forward a remarkable case that shows that Alberta citizens will have $30,000 in their pocket if they leave Canada, in addition to what they have now. Every single Albertan will be financially better off by leaving Canada. And they know that. They spend $50 billion a year supporting the rest of the country. And when they leave Canada, that $50 billion will be theirs. And they won't have to give it to Quebec, which is what happens now. Most of it goes to Quebec. Quebec should be able to support itself, but no, for some reason, Canada has to support Quebec. And Quebec is content to stay in Canada because they get all this stuff for free. But they will leave when Alberta leaves, and I'll explain why. Alberta's going to leave because the federal government has choked off its ability to be a financial powerhouse, an economic powerhouse. No pipelines, a cap on production, net zero bullshit, which means that oil and gas is going to so-called disappear, and we're going to have wind power and solar power, and we're going to be wonderful. We're going to lead the world in solar power. We're such a warm, hot country. All our north won't matter. All those 30 below temperatures won't matter because we have batteries then that'll run in 30 below, and we'll have windmills that won't ice up at 30 below, and we'll have sun that shines 360 day and night. The sun will be shining in Canada because Carney's going to make it happen. He's going to make us a powerhouse with wind power and solar. Carney is such a wonderful genius. He's going to make us a powerhouse by keeping our oil in the ground and preventing us from exporting it, by shutting off our electricity because he can't stand up to Trump, and Trump wants to put a nuclear power plant in every big city so they don't need Canadian energy from electricity. They don't need our aluminum. They don't need our steel. They don't need our wood. They don't need anything from Canada, so they say. And so we won't be trading with the United States because there'll be tariffs on everything to make it more expensive for Americans to buy, so they will buy elsewhere. So we have an industry that's going to die. Our auto industry is going to die. Our lumber industry is going to die. Our hydropower industry is going to die. Our aluminum is be gone. What's left, Carney? What's left? Where's it coming from? We're going to have increased taxes, a carbon tax, which kills our competitiveness. So we're going to be paying more taxes at the same time that Trump is lowering taxes on every business in the United States. Why would you stay in Canada if you were on a border state, a border province, a borderline with the United States? If you lived in Ontario, Windsor, Ontario, take an example. Why would you want to stay in Canada? Move 10 miles. Set up a business in the States, get all the tax benefits, give all the jobs to the Americans, and settle back into Canada. Sounds like a good plan. So all these businesses are going to go to the States because we're non-competitive. And all the jobs will disappear, and all these people want welfare, wanting the government to take care of them. But where's the government going to get the money to take care of them? They're going to print it. And what does that mean? That means that it's inflationary. Inflation is going to the roof, so you will now be paying, maybe $10 a litre for gas, maybe quadrupling your electricity bill. All your imports will be tripled and doubled, and we have no exports because it'll be too expensive. And then we got all these immigrants that are going to take the low-paying jobs, and you're going to be out of work. No house, can't afford a house, and you won't be able to rent because there'll be 50 people looking for an apartment, and you're just one of 50. So when they charge $5,000 a month for your apartment, and that might seem outrageous, but it's not, you won't be able to afford it. So where are you going to live? Oh, don't worry, Carney's going to build stuff for you. He's going to build sea cans, 200 square foot units that a family has to live in and rent. We are going to have the gulag that they had in Russia years ago under the communists. Row housing, one sea can stacked on top of another size residence. Not very good future. But you won't be able to afford to buy those. The government will rent them. He'll give them to his company to build, and they will rent them. They won't be for sale. They'll be for rent. Because don't forget, Carney is WEF, World Economic Forum, and the World Economic Forum says you will own nothing and be happy. Own nothing and be happy. Rent everything. And when you say the wrong word or vote the wrong way, boy, sorry, we're going to have to kick you out of your apartment. You're not doing as you're told. We have to seize your bank account, freeze your license, take away your driver's license, deny you health care. Whatever it takes to make you compliant, we will do. Because you will own nothing and be happy. And if a lot of you starve to death, that's good because the world is overpopulated and we want to reduce it. Bill Gates says we need 500 million people only and the rest of the world has to go. So 12 out of 13 people will have to die worldwide. Sounds crazy, is crazy, but that's Carney. $544 billion this year in debt, more debt, this 1 year alone. And he's going to give $500 billion to Ukraine in the next 10 years. That's $1 trillion. Where's it come from? Really, where's it come from? Think about it. Canada is going to split up. Alberta is going to leave. Saskatchewan will follow. BC will then be on its own. Manitoba will follow Saskatchewan. Ontario won't be able to afford to pay Quebec $50 billion a year. And they'll have all these immigrants that they're trying to take care of that they will be struggling with. And they won't be able to sell their power to the States. Won't be able to sell their car to the States. So all these unemployed people will have to be dealt with. Quebec is not going to get its $50 billion every year. So Quebec is going to leave too. And then the Maritimes, what do we have? Oil and gas from Newfoundland. That's it. And where's that going to go? Newfoundland is going to be offered a great deal by Donald Trump. Let us have access to Labrador and Greenland, or not Greenland. He's going to do that from Norway. But let us have access to Labrador and Baffin Island and Northwest Passage, and we'll buy all your oil and gas, and we'll take care of Newfoundland. So Newfoundland will join the States. Have no choice. That's it, Canada. You're done. Bye-bye. And it's coming. And the fact that nobody's talking about it is amazing. The media don't mention it. Everybody pretends it's not going to happen. Alberta's not going to do that. No, they love Canada. They want to give Canada, every Albertan wants to give Canada $30,000 out of his pocket every year because we're such great people in Canada. And they love being in Canada because it's so wonderful for them being in Canada. So wonderful having the federal government tell them they can't produce their oil and gas. So wonderful having the federal government tell them they can't do this and they can't do that, and destroying their economy. So wonderful when they're sitting on all this wealth and they have to leave it in the ground. They can't use it because Carney wants to be net zero. The only country in the world that thinks they can achieve it, and none of them can. It ain't gonna happen. Net zero is impossible. It's already been proven. In the spring, Europe announced a big fanfare that they finally got green energies 100%. And what happened? They had 2 or 3 days of cloudy weather and no wind, and the whole thing crashed. And it cost them billions of dollars to start it back up. And they realized that oil and gas is necessary. Why does Carney do this? Because he's the WEF, World Economic Forum. You will own nothing and be happy. He wants to bankrupt Canada because he's going to benefit. His companies are going to benefit. He's going to make the house that you're going to be forced to rent. He's going to make the windmills that you're going to be forced to buy. His companies will be making solar panels, trying to compete with China, so they'll employ all the cheap labor that we get from the immigrants and leave the rest of the Canadians. Yeah, you're too. Yeah, you don't want to work at those jobs. They don't pay enough. Starve and go on welfare or leave the country. That's our future, ladies and gentlemen. Time for you to do something. Time for people to say, I better do something, because guess what? No one is coming to your rescue. If you're drowning in a pond and 100 people see you, guess what? You're going to drown. If you're drowning in a pond and one person sees you and he can't pass the buck, he can't say, well, somebody do something, somebody do something. He's going to have to make up his mind, is he going to do something or not? And if he does something, he could possibly save the drowning victim. And if he does nothing, the drowning victim is gone. Canada is drowning. And everybody is saying, do something, somebody do something. Time to get out in the streets, demonstrate, hold your politicians to account. Tell them that you will vote them out. Sue them for not doing their job. Create a new party, not connected to the PCs, Liberals, NDP. Alberta's doing it. Everybody needs to do it because these people have all been bought. The Conservatives are almost as bad as the Liberals, but not quite. They've been bought. Why do you think the NDP supported the Liberals for all those years? They've been bought. Guess what? They're going to be bought again. And the Liberals are going to have effectively a majority government because they can buy the rest of them. Offer a couple of $1 million for someone to walk across the floor to the other side. Easy enough. Only a few dollars. We can print them anyway out of thin air. Who cares about inflation? Who cares about debt? The country's going down, so we're going to bleed it as fast as we can and as hard as we can and get as much out of it as we can before it crashes. And then we come around and pick up the pieces and celebrate our good fortune because we were so smart. That's what the government is going to do. What are you going to do? You. Ask yourself, what are you going to do? Nothing? Watch it happen? Lose it all? Lose your house, lose your car, lose your job, lose your future. Your kids have no future. You'll have no future. All because you got no balls and no guts to stand up and sacrifice and run a risk to save something? Shame on you. Shame on you. Anyone who doesn't speak out, do something, shame on you. You own it. You caused it. You voted them in. You didn't vote them out. You let it happen. It's your fault. Anyway, have a good day.